All right. Let's go ahead and get this stream started. I apologize for starting a little late today. Went ahead and visited some family, and then I had some crazy storms on the way home. So finally here. So let's go ahead and get this started. So welcome everybody. We got ourselves another community spotlight live stream on this beautiful Sunday. It's a little wet outside, but it's good for the plants and everything out there. So I guess it's pretty necessary. But we got ourselves some heroes over here in Metro. It looks like we got ourselves some yellow lanterns, like Lissa Drac, and then of course I've got my Hank Henshaw style going on here. I don't know if I want to tweak it anymore or not, or if this is as good as it's going to get. But perhaps we'll see this in another video. You can let me know in the comments what you think. But I think it's looking pretty good. I don't know if I want to switch anything up on this or not. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at everybody here today, and then we'll kind of go from there. Because I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we have some new stuff come up pretty soon in the game. And I'm kind of thinking along the lines of maybe I think we're going to see Homecoming come up pretty soon. And then I think the end of September, fingers crossed, I think it's the end of September, we'll also be looking at the new chapter in the game. Because I think with this bonus week that we got going on right now, which is like triple marks and then like the new vendor items and all that, I think a lot of those are going to signal the end of this chapter for the most part, and it's kind of an event for people to kind of clean up their feats and whatnot and kind of get things out of the way. We also have like Elite Plus in the game, so those that want a little more difficulty, but I actually heard that this Elite Plus isn't very hard. The difficulty I think that comes from this plus is more or less the difficulty of your teammates. So it's a lot of those mechanics where if your teammates are getting hit by damage, then it damages the whole team. So you're only as good as your teammates. So if you have teammates that can get out of the damage fields or block when the skull goes up, then the whole run will be very easy. But if you have teammates that can't quite get out of those attacks, then it's going to be very difficult for the group to pass that content. So yeah, so if you're looking at very skilled players, it's probably going to be a very low difficulty for most people. So we got Revelation here. He's got the very nice cape, the very cool cape. These hands are very nice. I think they work really well with the pants. So this is the tactical archer hands. So those are very nice. So it looks like he's kind of changed around with his style. And then we've got, of course, the Lissa Drac character. It looks, I think they were using the same chest style as the one that I used in my video. The only thing is I think she's using different pants. But either way, it's pretty nice. It's pretty good. I think she could upgrade to the Cybernetic Sorceress belt. That would be very nice for Lissa Drac. I think that would be pretty cool. And then if you wanted to upgrade the head even more, I would use the Kandaki Deity head style. That would be pretty cool too. The cape's not bad. The cape's fine. Let me look at chat. Spanner says, morning all. Good morning to you, good sir. And then we have Count here. It says, if it releases in October, it will be perfect for Halloween. The reason why I say it's probably going to release in September is because on the calendar, it says that the next chapter is going to release in the third quarter of this year. So September is the last the last month of that quarter. So that's why I'm thinking it's probably in September. Giving the devs the last possible month that there would be for them to release it at its latest time. So that's why I say September, because it says it releases in Q3. So if it was October, that would be Q4, and I don't see it happening in that unless they actually come back to us and tell us that it's going to be pushed back or something. Then that would be different. But so far, the only information we have is that it's going to be Q3 as the release schedule, basically for that chapter. And I know that they moved the. I know last year, and if they follow trends, I know last year they went ahead and had. Last year they had the homecoming event in August instead of September. So I know they had moved it last time at a different date. So part of me thinks that that's probably what they would end up going ahead and doing. So that's kind of what I'm thinking they're going to do this year. That they're just going to have the homecoming event moved up again, and it'll be August. So since it's already the 17th, I would think maybe they'll do it like half and half. Maybe they'll have it to where it's like on the 20th, and then it'll still go until like, I don't know, the 10th of like September, so that it's still not like a month ahead, but maybe like only a few weeks ahead of compared to it being like in September. Because I think they're trying to find a good time to have something always going in the game, always having some sort of an event going in game. Something always going on, so that it keeps player retention, and that people are still somewhat around, hanging out in the game, doing something. Looking for America Eternal. There we go. Yeah, it very well could be next week, Mels. Welcome to chat, by the way. I haven't seen your video, Mels, but I did see the one about the Flash, and I know that you do pretty thorough work. So, but I can attest to the Flash being a really good ally. Because even look at this, allies. I even run the Flash for my battle tank. It's much better than running Black Adam. He just gives way more. Because it's like I could run him and Black Adam, but then I don't get a buff or anything. So I already get like an infinite amount of supercharge now. So I just run something else, because it's like I'm pretty much always gonna have a supercharge even with just him. So now it's like I can kind of branch out and have some sort of a buff. Usually I would use the Aquaman buff where you can get allies back, but he's been nerfed since they increased the cooldown on allies, so he's not worth it as much. They have to double his numbers to make it worth it, and I think they will, but right now he's not worth it, because I would get Constantine way more. But right now I'm just getting the crits from static, but Flash is amazing. But I did see your video pop up, I just haven't had the time to look at it. Spanner says that's the problem, too many events. Well, they're trying to keep you in the game. They're trying to keep the FOMO up. They want you in game. They want you in game as much as they can. They want player retention. They want the game to be bustling with some sort of activity. And as a business, it's expected. You know, I wouldn't expect, like, what company do you know is like, you know, where they need your kind of you to come in and log in and play and keep the servers up and keep, population bustling with things and going on. I don't think you're going to see many games out there that are like, oh, it's fine if you don't ever log in, because then who are people going to play with? So they would rather have you in as much as they can, so that there's always people around to help play with other people. Because who wants to play on an empty server? Nobody wants to play on an empty server. I mean, you have Xbox. They don't really have a big community to begin with, and now they struggle to get groups and things together. And then you have even the EU side of PSN and PC that have trouble getting people. So I think you want as many people in the game as possible. Otherwise, people aren't going to stay on long, and it's just a vicious cycle of people not being online, and then people not being online because there are no other people online, you know? So there's no party if nobody stays and sticks around. Um, Spanner says the game is becoming a job rather than pastime actively. Yeah, you're gonna get that with MMOs. It's just that this game never took advantage of that until now, so we've been used to kind of just coasting. But I hate to say it, a lot of MMOs are very grindy. I'm not used to it, but I kind of understand why they're doing it, and it kind of just comes with the territory for it. It kind of sucks if you're not used to it. But I know some other friends that play other MMOs, and they are very demanding, very. So we've been getting it good for quite a while in terms of like not having to grind much, where they would just have a vendor for certain things and just let you buy it out. Now they want you to be far more active and do a lot more to get those same rewards. Mel says, I tested Black Adam, also not really worth it, except I think there's a bug where you can get the proc for every other pull. Yeah, there's a bug where you can get the proc for every pull. Oh, for Zoom. Yeah, Black Adam. So I went ahead and I tested him, and so every time I do supercharge generator for my rage, don't quote me on the numbers exactly, but I'm going to give you a ballpark. I think it was like 150 for the like actual supercharge generator. And then it was like another 66 or 68 or something like that for like the recovery supercharge, which is like comes with it. And then Black Adam would do like another 60 or 68, something like that. So he didn't contribute a ton. You know, it was okay at the time. But it's like every time I do Flash and I use Supercharge, I get another 750 back, which is way more, especially if you're doing it all the time. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It just made sense to switch to Flash. Yeah, 100%. When I saw that, it was like almost having like another head mod in, basically. So it wasn't. I don't know how the math works out, but it doesn't give me as much as the head mod, but it gives me very close to it. So I think it's like 100 or 2 off, but it's still extremely good compared to like Black Adam. So as long as you kind of have some sort of supercharge build up, you will build it up over time. It's a passive, slow build up while you're constantly using supercharges. So there's no, because when I was using Black Adam, it's like I could use infinite supercharges, but I couldn't use them back to back, like extremely back to back. And there would be a slow degradation of my supercharge over time to where I would have get to a point to where I wouldn't have enough supercharge after a while. Where with the Flash, that's not at all the case. You slowly build up as you're spamming supercharges, so you will truly never run out of supercharge. And then Chosen says here, do you think that the ultraviolet aura works for the style I posted on the Discord? I'll check that in a little bit after the stream. Mel says, I like the events. Also, more engagement in beats people only running the current elite raids. Yeah. Count says, I recently took the Space Marine motif and mixed it with Batman. I think I nailed it. And Mel says, yes, Flash is by far better. Yeah. So, yeah, Flash is just really good. And I know Ion Knight went ahead and asked me to look at his style. I looked at it. I didn't say anything on it. It has like a very big like a Spawn vibe to it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The only thing that could possibly make this better is like one of the let me see if I can find it. One of the dark metallic materials. I think it would make this one even better. Maybe not the glowing on the face, obviously, but I think if you used, let me see here, I think it's the iron Themyscira steel. Let me see. If you had this, I think that'd be a really nice material. I think that'd be your speed as well. It's a very dark material, and it has, like, let me see if I could show like the really nice squigglies on it. You can't really see it well on this style, but it's a really nice chroma. I think that would be up your alley. So I think you would really like that. And then we got Mighty Shango here. For some reason, I want to read it as Mighty Mango for some reason. It has very much a, maybe like an Aztec vibe to it. I kind of like it. The hair is nice coming out the back. I like where they have the hair will show from like that head style. I think that's kind of nice. Yeah, it's got like an Aztec feel to it. Jaylon asked the Iron Themyscira. I believe it was from a booster bundle, but I think you can get them off the broker for a pretty decent price. I don't know exactly what they go for, but I know they were somewhat popular, but not super popular, so I think you could get them for a pretty good price. They were a very niche item that would be good for like something for like your style, but it's not something like if somebody was like making an iconic. I don't think a lot of people thought it was great for them because, you know, a lot of people run like iconic characters, so it didn't quite fit well for them, but I think for you, I think it would be really good. It just doesn't have a glow effect, but it's got like the dark colors that you're looking for, and honestly, I think the glow effect that's on your style for the rest of the style, not the face, but for the rest of the style, doesn't really work out, but I think for the face, you could still keep it, and you'd still have the glow where you want it, and then forget about the rest of the area that you don't need it on. I got Smoking Treats over here. He says, yo, what's up? How's it going? I'm going pretty good. Doing pretty good. Have somebody asking, rate Ruby. I don't know if there's anyone near here that's Ruby, so I got to take a quick look here. Okay, here we go. Ruby right there. I don't know. I think this is a pretty good style. The only thing that's messing me up is the legs. I feel like they should be one color. I mean, and now if this is a specific character, I don't recognize who they are, but I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. The hair is nice. It's a very nice hairstyle. I try to use this as much as I can on my female character, but I'm really liking that Lissa Drac hairstyle that they put in. It's really good for like a Supergirl, and I've seen a lot of people use it for that. So I thought that was a really nice hairstyle that finally kind of made its way into the game. Now I just gotta really think of some other character to make with that hairstyle, but I did finally update my Lissa Drac character, so I made a short on that character. So that was really fun, and it was, and because I mean the botanical hair was okay. It was nice, but you kind of realize how much of a massive difference it was to have the right hairstyle. And if I had known ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have done the other short, but I really wanted to get that out there the first time I made the style. But I didn't think we were going to get the hairstyle, so I just made the short anyway. So we got ourselves Planet Hulk. Like, I think Hulk characters would always look good with this skin just because it has like the veins on it. You could also do like the World Breaker Hulk with this skin. Very nice. Count says, do you think you can rate Aaron Caligar? I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, okay. So I think it could use some material. I think the legs, the waist, and the feet are good. The chest could work well if you're going for like Warhammer 40k, and the shoulders. I'm not too crazy about like the Batman themed stuff being mixed in with like Themysciran or whatever. I think maybe you could add like a material that'd give it a little more context, but this kind of does look a little random. I feel like it could use a good material that could probably flesh out more of the color scheme that you're going with, because you have like a bunch of different material like metals going on here, so I don't know what I'm supposed to take from it. And the blacks have like different tones. I think that's the only thing that's really throwing me off. I don't know what they're trying to do with like the Batman theme stuff. I'm trying. It's hard for me to try to pinpoint what they're going for. But I mean, at least it's the newer Batman, like the newer suit style. At least those materials are better. Like, this isn't bad. I see a lot of people using this cape and then they use like the accessory with it. I think that's not bad. I think that's pretty good. I like that. And then we got Harley over here. Is she a Sinestro Core Harley? Let's take a look. They're all the way over on the other side here. Sinestro Core Harley Quinn. I like it. I think at some point maybe I'll do like a short and it'll just be lantern characters. Like lantern characters. I'll try to announce something like that like earlier on in the week or something, and then like do it like that day on the posts so that people know. Because I mean, I see Multiverse do it, and I think it's kind of cool. Because he runs content with some people, and they go ahead and they dress up as those, you know, as that specific core or whatnot. I think that'd be pretty cool. Count asks, he says, what material would you recommend? It really depends on what you're trying to do with it. I think that would be the best answer, because I don't know what who or what you're trying to make with that. Yeah, so that's a context I'm missing for the most part. Like, this is kind of cool. You know, the whole idea on this suit is that there's just a bunch of green circles. That's kind of the theme. Alright, then we got Iron Fist over here. Using the new chest style from this chapter. I keep wanting to say DLC. I don't know, episode DLC is still the same to me. Still the same to me. I don't really see any big difference with this. Let me see. I'll look at Chaos over here. So it kind of looks like Lord Superman or something like that. Or like Regime Superman, Red Sun Superman, kind of. Alright, let's see. Just move around here. We got Villain over here. Let's see if this was the one from last week. Okay, this is actually really nice. So it's like an ice character. Very nice. Very nice choice. And then we got looks like Sinestra over here. But it looks like a Ninja Turtle character for some reason. Let's take a look. Yeah, looks like a Ninja Turtle character. They got the right legs for it. Yeah, female Ninja Turtle. Alright, then we got Grievance over here. You know what would be really cool? This emblem right here, if it was blacked out and it looked like the veins were connecting, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, blacking out the veins on this skin is like hardcore. And like this head style with the gas mask, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, then we got Dick Grayson up here. I kind of like that. This is so this is Dick Grayson when he was basically he wanted to go work for Slade in the Teen Titans show. So this is like Slade's whole outfit, but for Robin when he goes to work undercover for him. And then like Slade pits him against the Teen Titans. And then we got GSA Black Cat. Or Black Canary. Something that I thought of. What's it? Let me wave here. Howdy. If I can spell howdy and not goof this. There we go. Trying to think here. Trying to think of the wrestler that's in DC. It's gonna drive me nuts, but basically he's in the JSA. Well, anyway, the new hand wraps that come with the chapter suit would actually be really cool for him. So if you guys have seen my JSA video of that character, adding the hand wraps that we get from this DLC to that character would actually work his style in like really good. Alright, then we got Mr. Gravity. I mean, this is good style. The only thing is this suit slims you down like a lot to make you like look robotic, and then these hands, I don't know, they seem very, very rounded and they are very robust. So you've got a really slim body style, but then the hands and feet are very very big in comparison. I don't know. I feel like you could get some really other like slimmed down hands and feet, but I mean they are really sleek. They're really nice. I don't know if it accentuates the chest and legs that well though. But I mean it's a nice style. And then we got Revelation. I don't know if I saw him or not. I think I did at the beginning. So he's got the style going. Looks like Kano for some reason. We'll give him a quick turn. Yeah, that's a nice face style. The evil eye. That's a very nice face style. I try to use that every single time I get like the every time I get the or use like the misplaced chest style. Alright, then we got Hal Joseph over here. Hal Jordan character. And of course he's got the tomb shaded willful chroma, which is based on Jon Stewart. And then we got Braddock B over here. Where are they? I know they're off on the side more. There we go. Very nice. The only thing, man, that kind of sucks, is that the waist clips through the leg style for Psylocke. Man, that's not too great, is it? And then we got Lantern Talgus over here. Another Sinestro core. You can't see it quite well, but he's got his Sinestro core emblem on. It's just the lighting blacks that out like massively. And then of course we have Superman DCA over here. He's got his Blue Lantern going on. So Blue Lantern Superman. All right. And we got Grim Knight over here on the corner. All right, so I have Count saying, forgot to say I managed to finalize Erebus Morningstore's look. Check him out when you have the chance. Chosen says, when in November do you think that 4 Patrol would launch at? It's probably going to be the end of the month, to be honest, most likely, Chosen. Probably the end of the month, or they'll do like a week or two in. I'd like second week in. Second or fourth week. That's what I think. Count says, that's the thing that bugs me a lot. Some styles clip through others. I hate that so much. Yeah, there are just some styles that are just really like negatively affected. Which I think is silly, but you know. It's crazy to see that. So we got ourselves a Black Lantern Batman with all the wraps and stuff. I kind of like that. I can dig that. Very eerie, definitely good for like a Black Lantern style. You know, for like Halloween or whatnot. Let's see who else we want to look at. Luzia Calavera. Somebody looking like the iconic. The only thing she is missing is the skin. That's all she needs. She just needs to get the skin, which is the reborn tattoo skin, and then they'll be good to go. Oh, and then they need the belt style. Yeah, they're also missing the belt style. But not too bad for the character. They could probably get like a really nice aura to go with that. I find that the dark blue aura is actually, to me, the best indigo lantern aura in the game. I think it comes the closest to actually looking like an indigo lantern's aura. I mean, I know they have the official one, but it seems like a dark purple. It doesn't really have that indigo look to it. It's pretty odd, and it doesn't have much of a glow to it. So not something that I really like recommend, but it's technically the correct one. I'd have to look up the name on it, but it's not great. Like, let me see if I can find it here. I think it's under the L's. Let me flip through my 91 pages of auras here. I could flip them pretty quick. So I think it's under the L's. Here we go. Lazulu Misted Aura. This is supposed to be the official indigo aura. I'm not crazy about it. This seems kind of iffy for an indigo aura. But if I were to use one, which I usually always use this aura instead, dark blue Nimbus. So you have that aura, or would you rather have this aura? Yeah, this is better. Look at that. Look at that blue. That's truly indigo right there. Yeah. It's got way more going on for it. Like, I think just the Nimbus auras in general are so much nicer. Like, they got so much more going on. They're a little lighter in their color, but you're going to find they really give you that nice, like, lantern look to them. You really can't go wrong with them. Chosen says, I was just wondering, since I'll be done with the 3rd Patrol event in a few hours. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be, I mean, let me see here. Events. Patrol. Campaign. Here we go. November. Yeah, it'll probably be either the second week. They'll probably either do it second week, which is a little earlier in November, or they'll do it like, I don't know, the last week of November. It depends on how quickly they think they can, you know, like get everything ready. But like I said, they want to bridge everything as much as they can. So a lot of you can sometimes try to predict a lot of this stuff by looking at like the end date. Like this one right here, this ends August 26th. So August 27th, you may have the Homecoming event come out. So, sometimes this end date will kind of give you an idea of when they're going to push the next thing kind of going forward. So I think that will kind of always give you an idea of what they're doing with everything, because they don't want to not have something going on at any given time. They always want something going on. So most of the time they kind of show their own hand in where things are going to drop and where things are going to kind of come up by showing you the end date on a lot of these events. And you can kind of figure out, if you kind of just, use a little imagination, of where you think things may go. Count says you gave me an idea for a future character. Okay. All right. Very nice. Glad to hear that. I get a lot of other ideas from other people in the community, and sometimes it's just from flipping through styles, seeing what comes up next. What kind of grabs my interest. So you got Israel going on here with the gold armor. I think that's still one of the best gold materials in the game. The other one would have to be the forge material. I think that's a really good material as well. Then we got Rose Wilson, which is the Ravager. So you got a Rose Wilson Ravager here. Only thing I could say is that chest style could definitely use like a nice material. But my guess is they probably don't, it's probably like a new character. They don't have one of those materials yet. They're probably waiting till like Valentine's Day to get that wet paint material, and then they'd probably be good to go. All right. Let me see who else. We got Earth Overgirl over here. I saw somebody in the Discord had made a style for an Overgirl character. This wasn't the one I was looking at, but I didn't know if that character existed in the comics. I know that they brought her recently to the DCAU in one of the animated movies. Very interesting. And then we got Torchbearer Kyle. Looks like he's got his Red Lantern style going. I think I've actually seen this in a YouTube video. Somebody went ahead and put this in a YouTube video. If you had made this in a YouTube video and you were showing other styles with it, I had probably seen the video. It was a bunch of Kyle Rayner styles, so very nice. I think it was like 2 different videos. It was like a 1 or 2 part, but very nice. I always check out videos and see what everybody's coming up with. I always like to see what other creators are coming up with. Dale asked, "How do I join? How do I join y'all?" Just be at the police station at Little Bohemia, but you have to be on the USPS/PC server. Yeah, this is the USPS server. Yeah, so just hang out with us, and then if you got something cool, I'll check it out. Alright, and then Chosen says, "I'm also using the Ultraviolet aura mainly because the DCUO character has shadow manipulation as one of her powers." Okay, very nice. And then we got Lobo over here. Got the storm still rolling on in the background. The elf ears are definitely a different look, and I can see they're using the antimatter chroma on the jeans to give it that jean look and still have some sort of silver on there. Very nice. And then, alright, let's look at Billy Batson over here. Or Batsons. So it's a very dark style. I mean, he's got the new cape with the head style. It's not bad. I'm not too crazy about the leg style. I would probably throw the other hand wraps on the bottom I think that'd be kind of cool because you're kind of going with like the ragged style, and I think the hands, the reborn feet would go better to match the hands. I think the multiple tones on the knight legs are just a little too different for the style. I think if you're going with the rags, you should have more wraps going on. I'm not sure about the metallic like metal look on it. I think too many of these colors are throwing off the simplicity of the rest of the style. I think it's got too much going on here and it takes away from up here. Let's see, we got Hyperman 1. If I can find him here. Let me see if I could find him. Nah, I passed him. Is he still with us? I don't think he is. I'll just do one last look here. Yeah, so he's not with us anymore. Okay. Alright, let me see who else. Now we got Erebus Morningstar, so we'll check them out. So it looks like a Black Lantern character using a cross of the Raven style and the Blood Curse style. Very nice, pretty much from the same DLC back in the day. Whoever thought you'd have a mix of the villain and hero suit in one style? That would have been an utteral dream for people back in the day. Being able to have, like for years as a villain, I wanted the, and I mean you could see this in my videos. You know it from my videos, but there were plenty of years where I really wanted to have the Shepherd of Adara legs, because they were literally better than the Sinestro Corps leg style that we had like for us villains. So it was really cool to finally get my hands on those and actually make a pretty, you know, something that was pretty close to an actual Sinestro Corps lantern. That was really cool to finally get. Oh, here's Hyperman. He's got his little Lobo doll on the side. I was trying to look for Prince Rakai, but I saw his name finally instead. There we go. And Dale says, "Bruh, I'm console. So are you Xbox console? Are you PSN? And which server are you on? Are you on Xbox server, US EU, or USPS? I think that's largely going to determine whether you can join us or not. I can only really do this on 2 different servers. I could do this on the EU server since I'm PC, and I can do this on the US server. But those are the only 2 servers I can really go on. I don't have an Xbox, or I don't have an Xbox. I don't have a Nintendo Switch, so I can't really do those servers. I'm just PC on this account. Oh, you're PS5 Europe, okay. Yeah, so what I usually do on PS5 Europe, I don't go on that server and do exactly this, but every once in a while, I don't do it all the time. I'm trying to be a little more proactive in doing it a little more often, but I haven't gotten to that point yet, to be honest. But usually at some point in the morning when I like get off of work or something or whatnot, and you know, and it's like I don't know, 3, 4 in the morning for me. I'm Eastern time, US. So I don't know, for you guys, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a 5-hour difference, 3-hour difference, but I don't know. Maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning for you guys by the time. But every so often I'll go in that server and kind of just go around in the main areas where there are going to be the most people and just look at styles. But I haven't done it recently. And then I put the best inside, like in a short on the channel. But that's basically the sum of what I've done on EU for the most part. I was on there recently, but it wasn't to do that. So the update that they did this past Tuesday, the update was already up on EU before it came to US. So I did all of my farming on my EU character for the Hank Hedshaw bounty. So I farmed with all of EU over there for the first couple hours to get my my bounty spam feat, and it was a lot of fun. And then I had a bunch of my old friends from from US here. They asked me, they said, "Hey, are you doing the spam?" I said, "Oh no, I did that on EU." And they went ahead and they laughed. They said, "Why is everybody telling me that?" So the funny thing is I wasn't the only one, you know, and he's PC, so only PC can really switch between servers. So all of the PC friends basically that I've known from back in the day, or that he also knows because he's PC, all of us were all on the EU side spamming and doing our bounty feats over there. And I guess he was a little slow to it, and he was like, "Man, I should have been over there. I should have been doing that." So so yeah, that was kind of funny to hear that I wasn't the only one that was doing that. Skydree asks, "What artifacts do you use as my DPS if you don't mind?" Okay, give me a sec. We go out here for a little bit. So this is my AoE. Let me put my my flight ring on. Okay, so for my DPS, I use Sinestro Core's Corrupted Ring. I use Strategist card, Candle of Neuron, Ebon, and then Omega. Those are what I use for my DPS side. And for my single target, it is the same. You got Strat, Ring, Candle, Ebon, Omega. That's yeah. I'm gonna switch to my nothing more infuriating than putting a flight ring on Flash. So I won't do that. But yeah, so that's generally what I use. The ring and strategist are really good damage over time, so that's why I run those. Ebon really increases your might by quite a large margin, so it's really great to use that. I'm trying to think what else. Omega is just overpowered as it is for both single target and AoE. So that's kind of a no-brainer. You want that in your repertoire of items to use. I'm trying to think what else. So yeah, Ebon, Omega, Ring, Strategist. I'm trying to think of the last one. I'll know just from looking in my inventory here. Yeah, Ring. I already forgot the whatever. So yeah, but I mean, you saw the ones that I had. So let me see. I'll just switch back to it. Okay. So I'll just have the timer on that. So yeah. Candle. I was forgetting that. So Candle's like an improved trans card. Strategist runs off of Candle, and then the power ring. Its strength of how hard it hits comes from your might. So the higher your Ebon stacks, the harder your Candle's gonna hit. Because I think it's how hard it hits is based on your might. I don't know if it's based on precision. I would guess not, since it doesn't give you a buff on precision. It's only might. But yeah, Ring's really good, and then of course Omega's really good. So that's kind of where I go with that. So I have 2 dots that are going on, 3 because I'm also using my Spore Cloud. So what I use for my DPS, here's my rotation. Some people like to use Frenetic Bombardment. I find it to be a really weak combo, even though it does build up your Omega fast. You just do really bad damage. Even though this loadout is a tad slower, it's not by much with how I do Dreadful Blast. So what I do is I go Dreadful Blast like that, and then I go clip those into each other, boom, boom, and then I do my Shadow, and then I go right into my Omega, and I'm hitting like a truck the whole time. So Dreadful Blast hits for a lot. Obviously, it's going to hit for a lot less if you don't crit, but Ebon makes sure it hits like for a decent amount even if it doesn't crit. And Candle really helps with those crits, so it's not failing to crit very often. So you're still hitting like a truck with Dreadful Blast. And I've used Dreadful Blast for years. Frenetic just really feels really weird to me, and its damage is just really low. And yeah, it's quicker, but who wants quicker, really weak damage? I know there's some people that love it, and it gets them to the Omega quicker. I'm not worried about getting to the Omega quicker as much as I'm there to use Omega at the right time. If you're just spamming Omegas and you're not being very strategic with when you're using it, when there's the biggest opportunity, then you're just wasting damage. So I would rather, like, there are times where I'm in a hallway and some ads are already like half health. I'm not going to use Omega at that. I'm going to use it when there's a fresh set of ads that we come up to. Then I hit my Omega and I get my full damage on it. I've seen people throw an Omega at like one ad, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, you're losing damage. So it's all about using it at the right time. I get it quick enough. It's all about using it at the right time. And a lot of people lose damage because they're not smart with it. So that to me is more valuable. And I do really good numbers with this loadout. Now, is it like godly, like competing with like somebody who's really good at gadgets? No, it's not. Not even close. But I think it's definitely above average, I believe. And it's really good compared to what Rage was in the past. So every loadout that I use is always an improvement from the last, obviously. So this was better than my like previous loadout for Rage, and that one was really good. So this one kind of just pushes that even farther. So that's how I kind of feel about it. It does a pretty good job. Yeah, Pup says, I love Omega Beams. Yeah, Omega's freaking awesome. When I saw that, I was like, dear God, let this be a good artifact. Because I was like, man, like, I really like Darkseid. I really like the Omega Beams. I really like this stuff. I'm like, man, let this be really good. And it turned out to be one of the most sought after, most used artifacts, maybe behind the trans card before they realized, you know, oh, the trans card's too popular. We need to start splitting those people up. So they made the Candle, which is a massive improvement over the trans card. So I'm glad I got both of those wolf packed. So now all my characters can benefit from that. So, you know, and so when I was, like, when I did this, when I did... Is it special? Yeah, when I did the Ultimate Recruitment event for June, I had, like, when I got level 10 on the one character that I did it on, I put all 5 artifacts on, and I was one-shotting the bosses in the missions that were leveling you up to level 30 and up, you know, like so anywhere from level 10 to the level 30, I was just wiping the floor with the bosses, one-shotting them. Artifacts are just insane, the sort of power they carry, them and allies. So, and especially now with allies and their changes. So leveling up that character and getting through, I was able to speed run that like 2.5 hours. Get them up to from 10 to 30, or 1 to 30 in 2.5 hours. So getting the 10 wasn't too bad. It was just a little slow. I unlocked a few skill points to get, you know, a few extra little things early on for level 10, but then you unlock your iconic abilities through the event thing. I was using almost exclusively the Shadow Curse. I was using the, you know, these things as well. I was using, where is it? I was using the Spore Pod. So it, like, those were overpowered in themselves. So I'm using those, and the character was Earth, and he was using 5 artifacts. I was killing everything. It was insane. So it was really fun on that character just because I was blowing everything away, and nothing was really a challenge with that. so to say. It was just blowing through everything. So this is very nice, like an armored character, like the one cybernetic arm on the side. And then we got Ninja Assassin over here. All right, and then I already looked at them. We got, let's see, Libra. Very nice. Got the heart in the center. Let me see who else. I can't quite see that name. I'll see it in the menu. I don't want to get too close and get shot across the map, as fun as it might be. There we go. Okay, so we got this character. Very like a rogue angelic character. It's like a rogue angel. Alright, I'm going to look at Mr. Satirical, and then I'm going to go check out the other phases. Or I'll look at him, and then I'll look at Scantless. Because Scantless may have a very nice style. So we got Mr. Satirical. I don't know, he kind of looks washed out with those colors. I think we need to get something else kind of going on with that style, to be honest. I got Scatless over here. So this is a nice style, nice lantern style. So he's using the tune shaded willful chroma. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and check out the other phases, make sure. Man, I miss the days when you could go up as high as the Brainiac ships. Alright, let's drop down. Alright, so we got Yara Floor. I think we saw them last week. Well, let's take a look. Oh, I remember them last week. They had the hair that was cutting through the tiara. Yeah, that's a shame there. And then you got Dawn Allen. Don't know exactly what they're going for, but you know, they got the nice sleek material on the belt, hands, and feet. And then we got PPZ over here. I get to see a lot of his styles in the Discord. He's always trying out something different. Looks like he's got sort of a Brainiac style going on here. Of course, using the ever popular Sanguine ritual. Let's see, we got the Rejuvenator with his rainbow material. Now we just need a candy cane one. That'd be kind of cool. Then we got Steve Rogers here. I actually like this. This looks like it is based on Hydra. So it's basically like a Hydra Captain America. Very nice. Okay, and then we got, did I look at Chloric? I don't know if I did or not. I'll take a quick look here. Yes, we saw him. I remember the hands. Yep. We did see them earlier. Got the nice Radiant. That was the second OG Aura I was able to get in the game. My first was the Black Smoke, which was very hard won. Finally able to get that. I really grinded hard for the black smoke back in the day, and then I was able to get the plasmic and nimbus much later on. So my first was the black smoke. That's why I use that in the plasmic a lot. Those are probably my favorites, and then the nimbus is probably like a third for me. But I know a lot of people like the nimbus first, then the black smoke, then the plasmic. A lot of people either like the plasmic because it was the first and it's rare, or uh, you know, or they just or they'll like the nimbus just for the style. But a lot of people like the nimbus, and then they yeah. So nimbus, black smoke, and then plasmic. I think it because I like it because not only is it rare, but there aren't many auras that look like it, especially with the color, a very light blue. Not many have that. Has me still in combat. Let's see if Green Lantern can go a little higher. Oh, forgot about this phase. Let's hit this one. PBC says I post lots of my styles on Twitter now. Just kind of dump pics. Be sure to post that in Discord. I'll follow you on there. Yeah, just post in Discord. I'll follow. I didn't know that. I got Masked Vigilante. Very nice. And then we've got... It looks like we have a Storm character over here. Aurora Chikala. Ditala. Tripping over my words here. So I think this is nice. I think they did a really good job with this. I like the leopard print on the cape and the shoulders. I think it's really well done. Yeah. Very nice. Let's see. Sindel Ray, I'll take a look at them. A very nice, like, armored style. Alright. Looks like Mighty Shango has a different style going on. Take a quick look there. Alright, I'm going to see if I can check back to the... Okay, I'll look like a Winged Messenger over here. I'm going to look at them, and I'm going to try to switch back to the first phase. If I cannot, then I think it'll be a safe bet to just go ahead and end the stream there. Let me see here. Whoops, nope, don't want to phase. Yeah, because I think that's going to be pretty hard locked with everybody in there today. Lost the PvP phase there. Alright, there we go. You click enough, you'll get through. Alright, so we'll look at a few more styles here, and then I think we'll call it a stream. So we got Steve Rogers over here. If I can find him. There we go. So it looks like he's got a different style going on. Looks like he's trying to make like a Black Panther maybe. We got Dark Web over here. If I can find them. Maybe they left. Yeah, when you're just scrolling through these names, it gives them plenty of time. If they gotta leave or something, then they just disappear. Okay, alright. I'm gonna look at Neanderthal over here. Here we go. So it looks like they got their Superman character going on with the hair and all. Let's see. I saw a Bane character running around. Have they gone? Because it looked like a pretty nice Bane character through the peripheral side. I guess he's already left. Okay, I'll look at Sentinel Alan Scott here. Okay, he needs a little more purple in there, but it looks like he's just starting out, so not bad for just starting now. Okay, I'll look at one more style, and then I think we can call it a stream. Let me see. Alright, chat. Who should be the last style to look at? I think I'll leave it up to chat. Anybody here, who do you think we should look at? I'll look at them as the final style. Okay, going once, going twice. Alright, we'll go look at Demeter. And then we'll call it a stream. Alright, let me see here. Very nice style. I like the Phoenix, and then I like the textured waist. I like how the flowers show up with the soulful belt. I think that's really nice. So I think that was a good choice. And then of course they got the Nimbus on, which is really nice aura style to have with that. I think that's a good last style for the stream. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday as we go into a new week with everybody, you know, going back to work for their Monday. So get everything you can done for this weekend before you got to go back to the, you know, the old work grind. I appreciate y'all for coming out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Laters.